Welcome back. 3 teenagers have been released on bail just hours after they were arrested following a shocking clash with police at a Christmas carols event in Melbourne. The carols descended into violence as the teens, allegedly armed with machetes, sparked mayhem in front of young families. The Victorian Government is now being slammed by both locals and the state opposition.
They lock them up, they put them away and then released. What are they thinking?
The laws in this state are cooked and Premier Jacinta Allen is responsible.
For their take, let's bring in broadcaster Neil Mitchell and Perth Lord Mayor Basil Zempilas. Good morning. Neil, threatening families with machetes. We hear one day back on the street the next. This has made people furious.
Yeah, and there'll be more of it ahead and there's more of it behind us. There's an awful symbolism to this one at the carols by candlelight. There needs to be a more concerted action. It's almost like the cost of living when the politicians didn't realise how important that was. This is vitally important to people, and there's a lot of things we can do and need to do. Where's Anne Alley, the Federal Youth Minister? She should be involved in this. They're still looking for 7 kids in this, or we assume they're kids, 7 people in this attack at the carols. Okay, well, let's have photographs of them. I'd be surprised if the police don't know who they're looking for. The law restricts you on using photographs of them if they're underage. Change the law, fiddle the law, give the police authority. Let's get some immediate consequences too. And let's have a look at bail. I mean, the consequences, you can wait a year to go through the courts. Let's have a look at bail, because nobody wants to lock up kids. Of course you don't want to lock up kids, ever. You could ruin their whole lives. But there gets to a point where you've got to say the community safety and the community interest takes priority. I think we need a really serious national look at this. We were told in 2016 by the Victorian Police this was happening, would get worse. They were right.
Yep, youth crime, you could say it virtually swung an election in Queensland. You've got 15-year-olds writing "Hitler was right" on walls in Sydney. You've got this. Basil, is it time for a federal approach?
Well, I think it is, and I reckon there's a tweak here that might be useful for everybody before that federal intervention comes in, because that could take a while. So we understand that people get bail. Neil's touched on it already. But why do they get bail 3 hours after committing the alleged offence? What if our bail process took a couple of days? And hear me out. So those younger people, instead of going straight home after they've committed the offence, allegedly, what if they have to sit and dwell on it, locked up in the bail cells for a couple of days? Would that make a difference? And I reckon that's something we could utilise a little bit more. All right, if you're going to let them out on bail, that's our system, I get it. But how about keeping them in for a couple of days before you do that, so they can think about what they've done and think about the environment that they are now in? That might make a difference.
Yeah,
I think you're spot on. I mean, it's not unusual to have offenders, not in this case, but offenders who have been charged, they get bail within hours. Literally within hours of being bailed from charge number 1, they're out committing crime number 3 or whatever. That is not unusual, and it's the consequences. You're right, Basil.
Yeah, you're right. It's happening around the place. Don't even start me on regional areas that have been crying out for help for so long. We need a national approach. That is something we need to address. Thank you very much. We will see you next week.